Hey, what's up guys, Inception XX here, and today I'm going to be finally talking about my trip to the EA studios. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video today. So before we start off this video, I just want to say a huge thank you to the people at EA for bringing me out to the EA studios to give my feedback about FIFA 16. I do appreciate it. All the guys that I met there, you guys are all really cool. I met a few people from the EA studio who work there, and they're really awesome people, so thank you guys for making the experience all the much better. So let's get into the details that everybody wants to know about what I did there. So basically, I was there to give my feedback on the game. So you guys already know the biggest thing that I brought up to them was the bad versus good gameplay. For the people that don't know, I talk about this all the time. I talk about it in my streams, I talk about it in the videos. Bad gameplay is what people play in majority of the time when they play FIFA. Hence why people think that scripting and momentum probably exist. Good gameplay is that rarity in the game of FIFA that the game just feels fast, responsive, the acceleration is high, you know, like you can move your defenders left and right properly, the first touch control isn't so annoying, it's beautiful touch and go football. But when it's bad, every little aspect of the game is completely awful. We're talking about first touch control, passes, defenders' movements, switching with your players, just everything in general. Even the goalkeeper, like when you're holding L trigger, R trigger, or R2 on the PlayStation, and throwing the ball, it doesn't actually do that. It doesn't just run and then throw it. It does this thing, it stops a little bit, and then it throws, right? There's actual different game mechanics, right? And again, I'm not completely disagreeing that it may be an internet connection. I'm not completely disagreeing it, but all I'm going to say is I've already switched ISPs because I had a streaming issue before that you guys already know about. I've switched ISPs and the same issue is still there. So switching ISPs is clearly not the thing that's going to fix it, right? So there's something within FIFA that just doesn't allow you to play in good gameplay all the time. This good gameplay, I was explaining to them, is if you have this for the entire day, people wouldn't be complaining about FIFA AIDS or FIFA momentum. They would be complaining about actual in-game mechanics that are really annoying. And the in-game mechanics that I told them about are the long shots, the triple tap X's, the inconsistency of direction of passes, and the switching. The switching is terrible. Now, the thing is that those are huge inconsistencies. Well, the reason why I call them inconsistencies is because either A, they're overpowered, or B, they're just really annoying. Oh, and let's not forget speed dribbles. Speed dribbles are mind-blowingly just annoying. But again, let's move on. So those game mechanics that I'm mentioning, those were four, five, or six different game mechanics that, if were to be nerfed, the game would be a lot better in my opinion. Because again, I absolutely love what they did with crosses and corners. Kudos to UEA, that was amazing, because people used to complain about that shit all the time before. They shouldn't complain about it now, because it's basically nerfed. The only time that people will be able to score is if they're alone, or if they genuinely should win a header, or if they just get sort of lucky. Sometimes luck still exists within the headers, but I'm cool with it because of how inconsistent it is in the game. It just eliminates a luck factor, which is amazing. But you have way too many other things that have a bunch of luck in it. So the things that I'm listing in good gameplay. If you want to talk about bad gameplay, there's like a plethora of things that are just annoying, okay? We're talking about bad first touch control. Turns feel like they have cement shoes. They just can't turn for their life. A big one. And if you guys are using this is the biggest way to tell if you're playing in bad or good gameplay. If you hold L trigger or L2 and it doesn't shield the ball immediately with acceleration, you're playing in bad gameplay. When it's good, it is amazing. Like, you just move so fast, it's unbelievable, and it just feels like exhilarating. It feels like the game is just really good, right? So that's a big one. The L trigger shielding, you can't do it quick enough. If anything, in bad, it just doesn't do it. You'll hold L trigger, and then it'll shield, but it'll be like, okay, now I'm gonna shield. Whereas in good gameplay, they do it right away, no problem. I told them that this is the biggest problem you have with this game. Just find out how to have good gameplay for the majority of the day, and you will be good. So while I was at EA, we also had some gameplay sessions. Now, you guys know at the most recent patch came out, I believe it was a month ago. So basically, while we were at EA, we tried out gameplay that was going to be released, right, for FIFA 16. So for the latest patch, essentially. And we were basically given a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox. So the first session that we had was PlayStation 4. We had two big TVs, right? One on the left, one on the right. And then we had two consoles, one on the left, one on the right. And they asked us, okay, there's two different gameplays on those TVs. Pick which one you like the most. So we played each game. I played against FootWiz Dan. I was playing against him. And I don't remember exactly how it worked. At the first one we played on PlayStation, I don't remember exactly what the gameplay was like, but there was very, very little difference in both of the TVs. Again, that could be because I'm not used to PlayStation, so I wasn't like entirely too sure. But I did notice that one was better than the other, and we all agreed that this one gameplay was better than the other. So that session I couldn't take much from because it wasn't that significant of a difference. If anything, the game didn't even feel that good when I was playing it on PlayStation. Like the control, it wasn't necessarily because I never played on PlayStation, but it just didn't feel right. Like I had like the user control was, I still felt like I was being pulled back. Now again, there are different things that can affect this because PlayStation, I believe, have wireless controllers, and I was also playing on a big TV. I play on a monitor that is basically small. Big TV, I think it was probably like a 40, 45 inch, 50 inch, 60 inch. I'm not entirely too sure, but it was like HD TV, so it was big, right? So if you play on those TVs and you're not used to it, you will definitely notice this lack of response time, right? You'll notice this lack of gameplay consistency. But again, it was PlayStation, so I wasn't entirely too sure, so I didn't take much from it. Now the second session we had it was on Xbox, and on Xbox we had it for one TV and one TV again. Now the Xbox one was more blatantly obvious. Again, for the PlayStation ones, even for the people that were there, myself, it was Dan, it was Foothead Dan and Mohead, when we were playing the game for PlayStation, we didn't notice much of a difference when we were playing. We didn't, like, between the two gameplay. There was one that was a little bit better, but it wasn't like significant. But for the Xbox, the two gameplays that we were playing in, there was a significant difference. Like, we're talking huge difference, okay? One gameplay that we were playing in was absolutely awful. Like, we're talking about completely awful. First touch control is awful. Players felt heavy. The same thing that I talk about where I'm running, the players feel like they're being pushed back from the run. Just completely awful. The goals that were scored were awful. I was playing against FootWiz Dan. It was, I think it ended, I think it was 1-1. Even he agreed that it was just like, it was completely just random, right? The second game, which I believe was the patch, right, for the new game, was the gameplay that we were playing in. And it was much better. It felt like I was more in control, that the gameplay felt a little bit more responsive. And it goes to show how gameplay itself for FIFA affects you so much as a player, because in the gameplay that I was playing against Dan in the bad, we tied like 1-1. I think it was 1-1. But in the gameplay that I was playing against him when it was way better, and he agreed that one, he even, this is exactly what happened. So in the gameplay that I played the second time, it was so much better. I beat him 4-0. When they asked us which gameplay you liked better, Dan himself said that he liked the gameplay where he was battered 4-0. But me, as much as I play FIFA, I still noticed way too many inconsistencies, right? For instance, I still noticed this push on my player making me feel like I was forced back to running and stuff. Again, this could be because we were playing on a big TV, and I think the controllers were wireless as well, so that plays a huge part for someone like myself who plays on a wired controller and a monitor that's 24-inch with like 1 millisecond response time, right? So it wasn't the best way to test the game, but I still did notice inconsistencies with the offline gameplay, and that was the fact that it didn't feel right at all. Again, it could have been the TV, it could have been, you know, my controller not being wired, but you know, it did feel better in that gameplay, and I do believe that gameplay was the patch for the most recent one, and that's the one we were playing. And that one, I did enjoy more, but no, you guys know me. The only way you can ever test FIFA gameplay is by playing it consistently online, okay? We're not talking about the lag, we're talking about the bad and good gameplay. So I was explaining to them, like, guys, you know, this is a great way, you know, to show us the difference of the gameplay, but you have to test this game off online. You have to test it because this gameplay, right, is the bad gameplay, right? But there is a gameplay that you have online that is so fast and so beautiful, and that's what people want to be playing in, right? They don't want to be playing in this where it just feels like you're being restricted from doing what you want to do. For instance, like, again, and I keep stressing this, it could have been because of how big the TV was, and it could have been because of how the controllers were wireless. It could have been that as well, but I was telling them and explaining to them, like, you guys have, to the gameplay people, the guys who work on the gameplay, I was telling them, there's something wrong with your online for it to just change randomly. So whether it's someone's internet connection or not, I really don't think that's the case, because everybody feels this, right? People that I face in my stream, that I have faced in good gameplay before. I faced a recent viewer of mine. His name was What's the Matter. He was playing against me, and I beat him 3-1, and I told him, like, I'm sorry you had to play in that, because it was so bad, right? Because we have played in a gameplay where it was good, and he beat me in the gameplay where it was 2-1. I've beaten him once and then tied with him once. Great player, he's actually a good player, but when you're playing in restrictive gameplay, you can't show your true qualities on the pitch. You can't do it because you're so restricted. So I was telling him that you cannot restrict people from doing what they want. If you add game mechanics that basically slows down the tempo of your play, and you have defenders that can't, again, the defenders I noticed couldn't move left and right properly still, right? They were still being pushed. So I was like, you have to, because again, I don't know what it is, but this gameplay that I'm talking about for online when it's good is amazing. It's better than the offline gameplay. It's mind-boggling. And again, this could be because Ultimate Team, you actually have players that you enjoy using rather than having a club where it's just like specific hand-picked specific players from the team instead of like hand-picked players from Ultimate Team. So again, that could be the case. But I was telling them, like, you need to find it so that people can enjoy the game for the entire day rather than just having it for a specific part of the day. So the gameplay sessions we had for Xbox, again, we were playing it, and that was basically the patch, right? And when I play this game offline, it's actually better than what I think it was a little bit better than what I played when I was there at the EA studios. I was telling them, like, it does feel significantly better. So, but yeah, no, there's still huge inconsistencies. Like, again, we need to be playing in this good gameplay for us to enjoy it. We cannot play in this. And I know I stress this so much, but I was telling them every single game mechanic that just made it terrible when it's bad, and every single game mechanic that made it better when it was good, right? So there's that. So yeah, the game sessions were cool. You know, this is the time when I met Footwiz Dan, and a dude from Muthead, and genuinely really cool people, really cool guys. I really enjoy talking to them because, you know, it's really nice to talk to people who genuinely have this passion towards FIFA and, you know, kind of feel for you, but they have like their way of thinking, and I have my way of thinking. So it's cool. It's cool to take the information out of people that, you know, basically have their own websites of the game, which is really, really cool. This is really, really awesome guys. So now, this was one where we were just chilling, and then we had the opportunity to talk about what FIFA needs. And you guys know me, when it comes to content, I go off about it, okay? Because we all know that this year's FIFA is very, very boring, okay? And again, the biggest part why it's boring is because of this bad gameplay that we consistently play in all the time, right? I'm going to keep bringing it up. I'm sorry if it's annoying, but I got to keep doing it because it's the biggest part of FIFA that just needs to be fixed. But if they were to have good gameplay, and they would have the overpowered things to be fixed, right? If they would have these things to be fixed, and we were talking about the actual content of the game, the content of the game is lacking unbearably, right? We're talking about just, there's no progression in the game. There's zero, you know? If you win Division 1, you get your title kit. Boom. People don't even play that game mode anymore. Division 1, it's done for them, man. People do not touch that game anymore because for a lot of people who play FIFA, it's just stressful to play in. There's no incentive to play it because there's no more rewards from it other than 15K, which is, no offense, a joke considering how many informs, how many legends and stuff are in this game. Someone like myself, if I play 4,000 games, 5,000 games, 6,000 games, I won't even come close to having a full legend team. Not even close. And that's in itself a little bit ridiculous, but kind of understandable from a business point of view, right? So the content in the game. There needs to be a consecutive part of the game. Consecutive in terms of there needs to be challenges so that you score one, you score another, you score another, you score another. Oh, you scored 4 goals with Sergio Aguero in 2 games. Here's a reward. You know, here's a reward for the challenges that you got with Aguero. Consecutive titles, dude. Winning Division 1 for a lot of people is a big freaking deal. Okay, like we're talking a huge deal. If they win it, right, and then they win it again, there is no reason for you to keep force-feeding us a kit that we can't do anything about. That is the most degrading thing I've ever seen in my life. Giving me something I can't do anything with. It's literally like, here's a reward, go discard it, right? So I was explaining to them, like, first of all, you can't do anything with the kit. There's no consecutive thing for Division 1s. If I win Division 1 this, like 10 times, I get this kit. 50 times, I get this kit. There's none of that. So please stop giving me the kit because I already own it and you're basically telling me, haha, here you go, you can't do shit with it, right? So that was a huge thing that I wanted them to fix, right? 15K rewards, boring. If you only give me 15K for Division 1, if you want to grind out the game, the only people that will be able to get players through playing the game the way it is right now are people who are good at the game and can play it for a long time. I've played enough FIFA that last collectively people like I have 4 different people on my record, essentially. Obviously I play myself, but I'm giving an example. For a whole year of FIFA, I probably have 4 people in one. If anything, 5, 6, 7. We don't know, right? But people who do grind this game, right? The amount of games that I played already, the things that I could have. We're not talking about players. I don't give a shit about player cards anymore. We're talking about, you know, stuff that just makes me just stand out. You know, we're talking about kits. We're talking about customizations to your players, to your stadium. Have customized like logos that your opponent can see. Your opponent doesn't need to see this stuff, right? You can just see it yourself so you feel like you're playing towards something. If EA really want to, just make it so that they see a default stadium, whereas you see something of your own. Because I think PES does that. I think that when they put their own kits in, the other person doesn't actually see your kits. They see like for instance, I think Bateson uses like a kit that's has Elgato on it and everything, and it looks so sick. But the other person doesn't see that, right? The other person doesn't see your customized kit. And I think that's freaking amazing, right? So there definitely needs to be things for consecutive. Whether it's the Champions Shield, win the Champions Shield 5 times, and the next time you win it, you get this reward. Or play the Silver Cup this many times, and after 5 times of winning it, you get this reward. So that people can feel more obligated to use these type of players, you know? I never use bronze or silvers unless they're overpowered. And when I say overpowered, I'm talking about, we're talking about fullbacks. We're not even talking about attackers. We're talking about fullbacks. Personally, I have 0 incentive to play silver or bronze cups because they just don't have no end result. They have no end result. They have no incentive to play because 1, the rewards are awful, and 2, I don't want to have to play with silver and bronze players when I can play with gold players and get more profit off of it. But if you do it in a way where there's more incentive to play bronze, silver players in this game, where it's like, I don't know, win the top 3 divisions with only a bronze team, right? You can have 2 fitness bronze teams and just win the top 3 divisions with that team. No silvers, no golds. Like, if you do that and the reward is cool, we're bound to playing it, right? I personally think that kits is like a huge thing because even right now, just right now, because I don't know if they're going to be updating this game anymore, I'm not sure, but just right now, We need to get at least kits, man, for winning the top 3 divisions. We need kits at least. When we got the black kit, you guys know me, I was stoked about it, man. I was so freaking happy about that kit. And the fact that it's like just for one title just makes it so that you play it, you win it, boom, I'm not playing divisions anymore. I'm gonna go play single matches. I'm gonna go play Champions Shield. I'm gonna go play FUT Draft, which is super, super repetitive and just oh god, I personally don't even like playing anymore. I played a lot. If it didn't have it this year, this game would be dead. I'm telling you guys, it would actually be dead. If it didn't have FUT Draft, this game would be dead because everything is so bland. There's too much things that are the same, and nothing new. Gameplay changes are always made, and there's always an inconsistency with gameplay. There needs to be stuff for people to strive towards. Madden has sets. You know, sets where it's like, oh, win the draft 100 times and you get this player. Win this many times. Collect these consumables and get this. Like, there's no sets in FIFA. There's nothing to strive towards. There's nothing to collect in the game to strive towards getting something else. There's none of that. And that's a huge, huge problem with this game. The fact that it has no content. FUT Draft blows my mind because if you win, you're not guaranteed profit. I'm sorry, but any game that you play that you put money in, if you win, you get more money back. That's just how it works. And people shouldn't take offense to like, oh, what more do you want than these packs? Packs are so inconsistent. Packs are like no offense to them because as a business it makes sense for them to do, but packs are so inconsistent this year. Like you can get two 50k packs and they will both be like terrible. Now again, you would still make profit from FUT Draft because 250Ks, you're making profit no matter what. But I'm just giving as an example, right? That packs are so inconsistent. If you give me a 35k pack, a 15k pack, and a 7.5k pack, it better make me at least 3 or 4k, or playing that draft was a waste of time. And people will say, oh, but you get to use new players. Listen, you get to a point where you use the players and you don't give a shit about the players. You just care about the rewards so that you can go and buy players to add to your seasons account, which again has no initiative to play anymore because you've already won Division 1 if you already have. There's no initiative to play it anymore. So I was explaining to them like content is lacking so much. And one thing for us gameplay guys, we need the leaderboards back, okay? Because the leaderboards gave us some sort of incentive, at least a little bit of incentive to play divisions because we can show off our records, which is, again, huge inconsistency in this game because records you really shouldn't give a shit about because this game is so inconsistent. But even still, it gave us a reason to continue playing seasons because there's a leaderboard. There's no database for Futhead to put Futhead Nexus back from FIFA 15 into FIFA 16 because there's no database. There's no collecting of wins, losses, and draws to see everybody's database so that it's always updated. There's none of that. And that's so sad, man. That's such a sad thing, right? So again, content lacking so much. I personally had a lot to talk about. I talk about a lot of the stuff on stream as well. There's a lot of stuff that I could be saying more, but this video is going to be super long. So yeah, man, that's what I was talking about. I was just talking about just making this game amazing, right? Like, and honestly, I can go on. Like, I can even go on to the point where Pro Clubs, there needs to be a 5v5 game mode because Pro Clubs 11v11 sucks. No matter what, it sucks. It's only good if you have, like, you know, 4 or 5 people and friends that you joke around with and stuff. But, you know, if you just want to make it a game like Counter-Strike or a game like freaking Call of Duty where you can just hop into a 5v5 drop-in match and there's not that many stupid people around you, it just makes it so much better. You just make the game a lot better. There needs to be content. There needs to be 5v5. There needs to be something similar to the World Cup mode of 2014. If they got a Champions League license, freaking put the Champions League into the Ultimate Team so that you have that exact same concept from the World Cup mode and put it into your Champions League game mode. It would be amazing, right? Again, through all of this, the first thing they gotta fix is make it so that you get good gameplay for the entire day and not just specific parts of the day. After that, dude, I can pull out a scroll of how many things that this game freaking needs for people to stay connected, be a community, enjoy this game, right? So I apologize if I am too passionate towards this game. But it's just how I am. I love FIFA as a franchise, and that's why I get so upset when I see too many inconsistencies in the game and too many things that are just bad in the game, man. It's just bad, and we as a community don't want a bad game. We want a good game because this game has so much potential. So please, please, EA, just do something about this, please, because we as a community are going crazy. I'm going crazy, and we just want stuff, man. We just want to be able to play for something, to play in gameplay that's actually nice and feel like we deserve to lose. That's the type of game we want to play. Other than that rant slash time at EA, I had a really good time there again, and I do want to thank the people at EA for again bringing me out there. I do appreciate the fact that you guys thought that my feedback could have been helpful to the console game, so I do appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. We love this game. We want to see it grow, and that's pretty much it, man. I'm done. I'm done. So thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I'm sorry that it was so long, but I hope you guys did enjoy it. I will see you guys for the stream or the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.